I heard some good stories. I heard some good news. You opening your own academy. Before I say anything, I just wanted to let you know, guys, that the video we are making, my main thought is not to like promote it or hype it or anything like this. I would actually like you guys, like for the people who are not decided if they want to take a lesson or not, if it's worth it or not. I would like to go into some details and like show you like how it works, what is the whole like process
Hmm.
and stuff like this. So if you could Venk tell us like general info you got on your own site, which we can also send people to, like what kind of like lessons are you offering and what is the format? Because it's not like very like standard one where you're buying a lesson for 45 minutes or 1 hour and then you are done. It's
Yeah.
something much different and more depth into it.
Well, you also have the possibility to do that, so to just buy like one lesson,
Hmm.
one code review. But the main focus is like trying to build like a relationship with the player,
Hmm.
because I feel like players don't just want to do one lesson and just they're done with it, and then
Hmm.
they come back in a few months and they do it again. I think like this with this like monthly thing that I'm doing is like more building a relationship, and I'm like opening myself to any kind of question
Hmm.
24 hours a day. So I have people like asking me all the time like, well, how should I do this, how should I do
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
I just like spending a lot of time into this, and it's
Hmm.
just not a review, it's more like trying to help the guy all the
Hmm.
time.
Hmm.
Of course, you have only few reviews that you can select from, but like,
Hmm.
for example, I have a lot of players in the beginning roles that are like asking me, how do I make this jump there? How do I gain speed
Yeah,
there?
yeah,
And I'm like
yeah.
going to the videos, showing them, recording. So it's way more than
Hmm.
actually what it says on the site, but that's how it is.
I hope you don't have like people messaging you at 2 a.m. how to make a jump from bridge to rail
Well, I actually have a few
on the
guys from
M6.
the other side of the world, so they message me when it's like other times for me.
All right, so they are like Australians or like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
something, yeah. Okay. Um, all right, so it's like more of like long-term relation, which I really like because we spoke times like about lessons, etc. Like
Yeah.
some people also ask me about the lessons. I was never a huge believer in buying like one lesson in Quake
Hmm.
because I think it's like it's too complex and the game you
Yeah.
need to repeat it all the time like to get good at it. Like you
Yeah,
still
yeah.
got some pro players which are like struggling at like some basic things in the game and
Yeah.
they need to repeat and repeat and train and get into the form. Like they taking a break and forgetting some things, so let alone like for the guy who's like not on a pro level, he needs to like repeat it all the time and like
Yeah.
needs to be sure that he's doing the right thing. So I always thought about it like fitness. So you hiring a trainer, and
Exactly.
then you got the whole package. You got the diet, you got the training, and then like he checks your improvement every week or whatever, and then you are doing some changes. So I think
Yeah.
that's super good thing for those people.
Yeah. I agree.
So for example, okay, so now it's even more complex because you got people on different skill sets, right? So
Yeah.
let's say someone wants to like buy like monthly like membership with you, right? And then as you said, like he has contact with you like 24/7, right? But he
Yeah.
kind of doesn't really, maybe he's not really, his mind is not on the right like set, right? So he doesn't know how to improve, so maybe he gonna ask you like how to make that jump or that jump or like change this something or that, but he doesn't have like long-term plan. So how does it work? Like some people, like some guy messaging, let's say I want to buy a lesson from you, so I'm messaging you, and then you
Yeah.
ask me some standard things like what's my elo in the game, just to understand like what is my level, right? You
Hmm.
want to have some games of mine, like I record some
Yeah.
games of mine, and then you rewatch, and you kind of have idea. Okay, so this guy is capable of this and that. He cannot do this and that. He's on this and that level, right? Because elo
Yeah. Yeah.
also doesn't say you
Yeah.
much, right?
Doesn't say much. Yeah.
So
So
then you,
basically,
yeah, go
so
ahead.
basically, what I do, I have like a Google form that you need to fill,
Hmm.
and there is way more info than just Halo. There
Oh,
is like
okay.
prefer weapons, prefer champions. What do you like to do into the game? What do you think you are lacking with? So I understand what he thinks his
Hmm.
mistakes are
Okay.
himself.
Hmm.
Then I ask him to send 1 or 2 votes, because
Hmm.
depending on the package, you have like 4, 6, or 10.
Hmm.
But people like try to just send everything at once, and I don't like it. It's more like you need to send like once a week, for example, or
Hmm.
twice.
Hmm.
Then we evaluate. I explain what's going wrong, and
Hmm.
then the week after, you try to make those progress into this week.
Hmm.
And then actually, I offer also a spreadsheet where people track their games, and there are also like some milestones to complete.
Hmm.
For example, with this guy, I had this milestone that he actually, for example, it's a funny milestone, but for example, in a game, this guy's like 2 weeks into the game, he got
Okay.
called a cheater 2 weeks into the game because
Whoa.
he was destroying this other guy. So it's just a funny milestone,
Okay.
for him to like see some progress.
Yeah,
And
that's
other
cool.
than that, also in this document, we have like like weekly feedback.
Hmm.
Well, like for example, I'm telling him, okay, this movement part was good. Next step, we need to focus a bit more on this kind of champion movement,
Hmm.
and like we keep tracking it and so
Okay.
on. But the main point is for sure like the 24/7 support. I
Hmm.
think it helps a lot to people. Like just being able to just contact me in 1 second, message me,
Hmm.
and I'm ready to answer anything. It's a big deal for them.
I think that's the most natural way to improve because you are like you're kind of not focusing on one thing, but you are taking like little pieces from every aspect of the game. So like a bit
Yeah,
of the movement, you tell the guy to like change this with this champion, that he needs to improve like some timing there, like some aiming
yeah,
there, some setting there, which is like natural way of improving of a player who like is on his way to become a pro. Because
yeah,
now I was thinking like when I'm thinking about the lessons also long term, like I thought you probably also do something like you give them general tasks like they need to play this or that amount of jewels, they need to like focus on this
yeah,
and
yeah.
that,
A
right?
schedule, kind of.
Kind of
Yeah,
schedule, so we also do
yeah, yeah,
that, right? Like a
yeah, yeah, yeah.
workout plan
Yeah,
or
try
like
try to do that. Of course, people are like busy with families and
yeah,
jobs
yeah,
depending on
jobs,
their
yeah, yeah,
age, but
yeah.
I'll try to fill it in for them.
So you give them like some kind of practice regime schedule they stick
Yeah,
to,
yeah,
and based on that you're taking the votes and then you're changing things. um, Okay, so that's great. And then do they contact you via what, like Facebook, like Messenger, phone? What you
yeah.
got some WhatsApp group for
Well,
people or like
I have a Discord, and I mean, I have my personal Discord, I have my email, I have my socials. But
okay.
I don't have a group for everyone
Mhm.
because I don't know if people want to see they are getting coached. I don't know. So
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
all about
yeah.
privacy. I don't
Of
I don't
course,
want to mess
yeah,
with any of that.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, those are the main ways. You just send me a friend the request on Discord and I accept it,
Okay.
and that's it. So we
So
can talk.
that's cool, and that's much more because I always compare it like because I'm very familiar how you train people like in fitness industry, so I'm always
Yeah,
comparing this, and you don't have it in any other industry, I think, like the contact 24/7 to someone,
yeah,
because
yeah,
like it's really exhausting at some point, and it takes a lot of your time because you all the time need to be alert. It's
yeah.
like your it's like
It's
full-time job basically.
it's a very nice experience, I would say, because right now I have like six or seven clients,
Hmm.
and trust me, I think I underestimated the amount
I
of
know,
time it will take me
I
a
know,
lot.
I
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
especially because look, you can either it's same as in life, you go somewhere and you buy some clothes or you buy shoes or you buy a phone.
Mm-hmm.
You can you can buy something, or even buying food, you can buy something which is cheap and low quality, or you can
Yeah.
buy something which is high quality but it's expensive. It's
Mm-hmm.
very rarely in any industry, any aspect of our life, something is super cheap, super easy to get, and it's best quality. It's almost
Yeah.
never goes like those three, like in,
Yeah.
together. So especially that people gonna like pay for a good project, because like your project gonna be high quality, but it's also expensive, then they will be like, they will definitely be messaging you. I will be like definitely messaging you about everything, which is cool. But as you said, it's like some kind of different journey. And
Yeah.
in general, how did you came up with it? Like, and why you decided to not go with it? Like, for example, when QPL was still around, you
Yeah.
probably was busy with your mind about playing and
Yeah.
improving yourself, and now we got more time. So that's one
Well,
thing. But
during Quake Pro League, I was offering coaching, but it was like one or two person at once. I
mhm,
didn't never had this idea of creating an academy because I knew it will
mhm,
take too much time. And
mhm.
when I was playing Quake Pro League, my only goal was to win the championships, so that was my
Yeah.
focus 90% of the time. But since now there is not much going on, I
Mhm,
thought it was like a good idea to help people out. Because people like if there is no competition or there is competition, people want to improve. It's
mhm.
not like if I want to get some good at bodybuilding, I need to go and challenge
Yeah.
Chris Bumstead. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
everyone has like some like a preference to improve, and I have some people just telling me I want to improve because that's my goal in life. I just want to get better at this, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
it. Like
Yeah.
other than that, I just came up with this idea because I always had this like coaching in me. Like I want to
Mhm,
kind of help people. I did it for free for like on YouTube with tutorials
Hmm.
and stuff like that. But I wanted to get it a bit further. And
Hmm.
since I'm not rich, I kind of have to make it people pay for it. But other than that, I think it's like the quality for the price is very good
Hmm.
because you literally have access to me all day long.
Hmm.
You can ask me anything you want. I can like I was
Exactly.
recording yesterday for the same guy like 10 videos. Like took me like 4 hours to do so.
Okay.
So
That's
I think
great.
there is a little bit more in the package than it's than it says.
That's great. That's great. Um, what's your take on okay, so for example, because there is like some things in the game which are not really as much dependent on the player. So for
Yeah.
example, like what's your take on aiming? Let's say you got a guy who's like medium skill and then he
Mm-hmm.
needs to improve aim. Do you tell him your take on aim is rather like the more time you're gonna spend on the game, the it needs years to build and it will come eventually? Because I
Mm-hmm.
think no one of us like starting our career, we never thought about aiming. It was like slowly improving by the
Yeah.
time, by the time we spent, we played the game, like it was more natural. Nowadays you got so many like aim coaches, like aim tutorials, you got like Kovaak, you got system programs. You're
Mm-hmm.
also trying to dig a little bit into that and help them with like some aiming programs in Kovac, some routines, or like
Uh,
what's your take on
I,
that?
I always was of the idea that Kovac is more like adjusting few small things on
Hmm.
your aiming style,
Hmm.
like some particular like way of handling, like
Yeah.
low sense scenarios, if you're more high sense, those kind of things. But I think like the way it works in Quake, you need to pay attention a lot to the physics of the game.
Hmm.
And I know that Kovac can actually help you like with tracking, like with being a bit more precise with your movements.
Hmm.
But at the end, like you need to be able to track in game. You need to be able to transfer those skills in game. And I think if you're a total beginner, best if you learn how certain champions move,
Hmm.
how Anarchy is gonna boom is gonna be different than a model on
Yeah.
Kovac.
Yeah.
100%. Because in Kovac you have zero ping, you are playing against a bot.
Yeah.
You go into line game, you have Anarchy,
Hmm.
50 ping, doing AD, and that's gonna be a totally
Yeah.
different world. No matter
Yeah.
how many times you practice that scenario on Kovac,
Hmm.
it's gonna help you out for sure. But I think playing into the game is way better.
Hmm.
So I always tell my students to just play a bit more daily of like deathmatch or Unholy Trinity. Like
Hmm.
people do in CS, they play deathmatch all day long.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah. I think it's more of like younger generation and like you won't see as many CS players like doing Kovacs as like
Yeah.
for example Valorant players. They will
Yeah,
be
yeah,
like
exactly.
Kovaking left and right, like all day, all day,
True,
all day,
true.
all day. It's like, you know what? I'm not really into Kovac, so I'm not really adept into like aiming like routines. So maybe I'm 99% wrong, but what I don't really understand about Kovac is like, because you know you are a human, and the routines like you got a like object in Kovac,
Yeah.
which is always gonna repeat movement. So if you're gonna
Hmm.
do this routine once in your mind you already have like the way of the
Yeah, you
object
can
moving.
predict.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
what I really don't understand about it, like how it can be useful long term if like after the first complete like routine you already your mind already kind of remember, and it improves because your mind improving, not because your aim improving. That's how I see it. I think we
Yeah.
will need some like
Uh,
specialist here, maybe
yeah, we
serious.
will need
Maybe
serious
Sirius
for
could
to jump in.
explain this like
But
more deeply,
I'm
but
pretty sure Sirius himself doesn't really like play that much Kovac, and he just plays Unholy Trinity all day long himself. So I think
even
we
if
have
he
the best
plays Kovac,
example
I don't think like his aim is great because of Kovac.
because of that. Yeah,
I honestly think it has about 0% like influence on
I
his
would
aim.
say like
I
two.
think if
Let's
he
say.
didn't touch Kovac, his aim will be exactly the same as it is now.
Yeah, could be like also everyone is prone differently to learning this kind of stuff. As I
Hmm.
said, I think Kovac is like for those small percentages
Hmm.
of things you need to do with your mouse and your tracking and your flicking.
Hmm.
But like you can't really replicate it 100% in game. That's another
Hmm.
different thing. You just need to learn how it works in game.
I think
Because
also, yeah.
yeah, because you just have internet connection or you have online, it's just different.
Hmm.
Like
I think the best thing is like when you are trying to improve your aim in game,
yeah.
you can't be really like too much into it. So you are, you know, you are stressed, you are tensed, you are, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you are not relaxed. You need to be relaxed, and you need to be able to analyze during your aiming, like okay, so here I'm overshooting a bit, so maybe
Mm-hmm.
my setting is wrong. Here I'm like holding the angle wrong or something like this, you know. You cannot like go with 100% focus or you're going with 100% focus, but you're recording your game, and then you're rewatching, and then you analyzing from third point of view. Because some people just aiming and training aim, but they don't really think about like what went wrong and etc.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. It's like it takes a bit of like everything to understand what's going on. And so having like an opinion from someone like who is into aiming,
Hmm.
it's actually a big help for people. Maybe your sense is too high, your sense
Hmm.
is too low, your FOV is like 155, so you
Hmm.
don't see shit in your screen. Like there are many things that can actually influence aim. So
Do you got some people with crazy settings which you are like straight away see and you are like, dude, you cannot improve with such settings, or it's like, and then it's hard to
uh,
explain them because they feel comfortable, right? Because maybe you start in the game and you feel comfortable on sense 88 because
no,
it's
well,
just a bit
more
of
than
movement.
sensitivity, I have a funny one for you. So
Yeah.
basically, this student has like add because I made him change this setting. He had like mouse wheel changing weapon,
Hmm. Yeah.
but when you press the middle mouse, he was using ability. So
Oh, so by accident he was using. Yeah. Gee.
I had a review of him using double gauntlet because he fucking switched by mistake. So I told
Yeah.
him, you need to change this shit as soon as
Yeah. Yeah.
possible because
Yeah.
it's gonna mess you up, you know.
Yeah. Like lately, my scroll got a little bit more loose. So it's like,
Hmm.
even if I'm scrolling down, sometimes it will scroll up, like just by
Yeah,
accident because it just got the mouse is old.
yeah,
And
yeah.
on mouse wheel up, I had like change weapon actually. And then
Okay,
mouse down, I'm always on rocket. Like the setting like mouse
okay.
up was just like random. I just like I never use
Left
like
at the okay.
changing weapon. And then I'm running around, and then it switched from rocket to LG or something. I'm like, what the fuck? Like I didn't press like my LG key, and then it happened again, and then I was like, okay, I must have something on my mouse like or clicking or going down or something or going up,
Yeah,
and then I checked the settings and yeah, and I had it and I like removed it because I don't use it anyway. But yeah,
that's funny.
also there are some questions, for example, which. Well, there is a saying that there is no stupid question, right? But there is some like questions which you think like that are completely irrelevant to the improving or like something like this, or some weird kind of questions which
Uh, at the moment, well, it's been only a week, so I haven't had
yeah,
anything crazy like
you
that.
don't have as much
But
experience, yeah.
like some players, for example, tend to like maybe ask me things outside the game totally. Like for
Hmm.
example, we were having a discussion about diet and
Hmm.
like why American diet is so bad.
That's a good thing to discuss, I think,
Yeah, it means I think it's fun. Like,
because
cause I'm not just the kind of person that you just talk about Quake. Like, we build a relationship, we kind of start to talk
yeah.
about anything. Like, so it's like,
Another thing is like I think everything what happens in your life has some impact on your game anyway. So what you
true.
eating, how you behaving, what's your
Yeah,
mindset, like if you fight with your girlfriend or with your wife, you
yeah,
kind of, not in the mood to play
yeah. Of
basically,
course,
and especially not in the mood to improve or anything.
absolutely. Yeah.
Um, okay, we already discussed this topic with you like privately. I said first of all that I like something like long term and like those kind of things. You got your
Oh yeah.
academy. My idea already for years was like to make like not like Av3k Academy but Av3k Camp. So
Mm-hmm.
have people who don't really want to go private, but they want to go for a boot camp, basically. So, for example, just like organizing something at, for example, Endpoint facility. The
Mm-hmm.
one
Yeah.
problem is that Quake scene is like too little, and we don't have like such huge player base for people to be interested. But it doesn't need to be a big group of people. It might be like
Yeah.
4, 6, 8, 10 people who want to go for a boot camp. Let's say 5, 7 days boot camp. We go to Endpoint facility, we got our apartments where people could sleep, and then we got like full like face to face like boot
Yeah. Yeah.
camp as we got before tournaments like for pro players. We got our PCs. You only need to bring device and just arrive in UK. So it depends if you are living in the UK or you are from Germany and you need to buy yourself like a flight or anything like
Yeah.
that. And then try to improve as a group. Obviously, the problem will be that if you got few guys who are really high with the skill and then few guys who are just
Yeah.
beginning, but we got full day, so we can kind of separate it and like have like some routines which gonna help everyone. And especially I think I always used to like really boot camps in Quake 4 or like in Quake Live or like I still like boot camps because
Yeah,
I think when you are going to boot camp, you are putting yourself outside of your like comfort zone. So you are not at home where you can pet your like your dog or you
you're
want to
playing
watch
in your
or
pajama.
yeah, or you are just lazy or you want to watch a movie or like friend call you or you got to work or you got a girlfriend or you got to like help the family and all the time with your mind you are somewhere like around it. When you are
Yeah,
going to the boot camp, you're just going there with one goal. I'm gonna improve, I'm gonna play, I'm gonna practice, I'm gonna analyze
yeah,
my games. So you're just going there. That's why I think improving on boot camp it's always like huge process of the game. So I think that will be cool.
it will
And
be a
then
cool way.
inviting
Yeah,
someone, as I told you, like it will be cool if I invite you and we both like go there and speak with those people. So I just wanted to throw this thing in our video so people could like say in comments if they would like to see something like this.
yeah,
And
will
it's
be
some kind of
super cool.
tournament vibe. And if people are on the same level, on the end of the like bootcamp we can do some like tournament bracket even with us included or something like this, whatever. You also as you said, you got people asking private things. We're going out to eat together. We're going out for a walk because you can't play like 12 hours per day. That's the time where they can like ask you some private things or outside of the game. I think that will be cool.
Have some good time together. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
sounds
Okay,
like a nice idea.
now, for example, what would you say if uh, if you got like the player who is already kind of good, and then
Mm-hmm.
do you think it's easy? It's well, it's definitely easier to improve when you are beginner than you are already on top
Yeah,
level.
oh,
Because
absolutely.
when you are on a top level, finding this little mistake, it's super hard.
Yeah,
Do you have anyone who is like really outstanding with the skill at the moment and finding this little thing is hard even for you? Because obviously like what we are on our level and we already have hard time finding in ourselves like what we need to improve because
true.
sometimes you don't see it, sometimes you kind of miss something. Like do you have already someone on a huge like skill set and then you're trying to help him and it's hard like to find
Well,
a mistake?
I'm coaching this guy called Slave from Poland. I
Hmm.
think you met him at KinCon. And when we started coaching a few months ago, he was like around 1600 elo, 700 elo,
Hmm.
1700 elo. And now it's a bit harder to coach him than before, but the
Hmm.
progress he has made is huge. Like he went from being not able to beat like gold and diamonds player to
Hmm.
coming to KinCon online and almost taking up a map of Nosfa. He
Okay.
had some one close game against Raf Online. He beat Tox once, so like the improvement is insane
Okay.
considering the way where it started. But now it starts to be a bit more complicated, and it
Hmm.
surely takes a bit more time.
Hmm.
But he's motivated and pretty
Hmm.
sure he can actually still improve quite a ton. But
Hmm.
of course, like when you start when you're a beginner, it's just one thing you just improve 300 elo,
Hmm.
basically just on movement or like shooting or like taking this item once every
Hmm.
in a while, like totally
Yeah.
different than being already 2k plus elo.
Okay, so if you got such guy, for example, and then obviously he gonna send you a video of him playing Jewel, do you sometimes like try to tell him, for example, you tell him to play every Jewel like 100% and focus on everything, or sometimes you see that he struggles, for example, he times really good Mega, he times really good like heavy, but then he doesn't really deny, for example, one of the greens from his opponent. Do you
Mm-hmm.
sometimes give him a task like, listen, just chill a little bit, like about aiming and like don't really go full hand
Yeah.
focus. Just focus like this game, few games. Just try to focus on like rotation. Just try to
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
remember that this green coming up after this, and like something like this. Some like one task like things. I think that's also cool.
Yeah, I don't remember every task I gave him right now because I've been coaching him since like 8 months already, so it's been a long time.
Hmm.
But yeah, we had some tasks like this game you just focus on, other than taking major items only, try to establish some rotation. Like, just don't go for the mega and heavy all the time only. Try to
Hmm.
just starve your opponent, a bit like Cooler does.
Yeah,
So like giving him some examples and stuff like that. Yeah, of course, it's very important to learn.
that's super good then. Um, all right. So how many clients do you have now? And how many? Okay, different question. How many slots you got open? Because
Uh,
I need to
only 14.
hurry to sign up.
Only 14 actually. Only
Only
14.
only 14
Yeah,
slots
and
left.
it's been 5 days, so they're going quickly.
Yeah. Do you think if at some point, for example, you got 10 people or 12 people and you realize that it's too much work, you can cut off the slots, cut down on the
Some
slots?
it's something I've been thinking about, but I think I can still manage it till
Hmm.
like 15, 20. I just need to see how like what kind of package that they buy, like
Hmm.
depending. Because now I have also few guys sending me only VOD review, like they just buy the VOD review, so it's extra work without having a monthly subscription.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah.
even more people going on. So I will see. I'll figure it out. If I see that 10 or 12 is too much, I'll just close it because
Yeah.
I don't want to like be
Drop the
like poor
quality.
quality of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I just want to be like full full quality for the people buying it. So,
Exactly. All right, that's all my questions. I just wanted to kind of give you guys like the perspective from like third point of view. So let's say I was like the guy who was trying to buy the lesson, because like there's many people who will be like undecided. They will not know what to expect, you know? So
yeah, yeah,
that's good to say.
it's normal.
You already made that video on your channel, so if you guys didn't see that, check out like VengeuR's channel.
Yeah,
He's like discussing the whole like format and etc. there. And how you been doing? How your gaming career is going?
my gaming career
Yep. How are
could be
you
better.
improving? You need time for you to improve.
I'm just waiting for Racy to stop playing CS so we can
Okay.
grind together Quake Champions. Now, other than that, I mean, right now we know that KingCon is in November. So
Yeah.
yes, it's good to play monthly KingCon, but it's like so far away also for our
Hmm.
mind to kind of like, and it's like
You need
piece
to
of
ramp
bit
up.
playing
Yep.
CS. Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna start to like ramp up soon.
I think
So
it was same with QPL. Like people in the beginning, they were going super slow, not really practice
yeah,
as much, and then trying to ramp it up. Because if you're going full ham from the beginning for a whole year, you're
no
basically
way,
gonna burn yourself out.
no way.
So
Yeah,
we
yeah, no
need to
way.
kind of like chill in the beginning, I think.
But like, I think people like will see us very soon.
Okay. All right. Anyway, that's it for you guys. Let us know in the comments what you think about the
Yeah.
VengeuR's Academy. What would you like to know? Maybe some of you are hesitating and they want and you guys want to know more. I'm sure you can message like even before buying anything, you can message like
Oh, of
Venger and
course.
ask
Yes.
him like to explain like everything in
Yeah, yeah.
detail to see like
I have
if you
mail,
want
I
it
have
or not.
Discord.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
want it or not. And
absolutely.
let me also know if you want a bootcamp in UK. Pete, also let me know if it's even possible to do because maybe I need to do it at my home. But then I need to buy PCs, chairs, everything.
Yeah, it's a bit more complicated.
Yeah. At this moment, I got already two noble chairs, so shout out to noble chairs. Anyway, thank you and see you guys. Thank you for the talk.
Thank you. Bye bye.